Welcome to the Doc G Show, a radio show cluster. Without further ado, critics have said he has the face for radio and a voice for silent films. Your host, Ben Doc G Gordon.
And we are on the air. Welcome to the Doc G Show. I'm your host, Doc G. With me, as always, the one, the only, Mikey, Maximus, the Fernicus. Say what? Charette.
Dr. Gordon. What's up, sir?
Woo! Mike, I'm doing good. I've got one important question for you.
Yes.
How are your plants?
Oh, one of them didn't make it.
No, God, no.
Yeah, one of the century plants. I don't know what happened. I think I messed up the root system when I pulled it out, but I'm not giving up on it because I think I've seen these videos where people just put them in water and they start growing roots. What? So I'm gonna keep. Yeah,
the grandkids are fighting for their lives. No.
Yeah, we lost one.
That is, Mike. Now I'm a little concerned. I was thinking about it. And I just got sidetracked the other day, and I was like, I'm going to get Mike a fruit-bearing plant.
Okay.
And it's just going to send your plant caring into hyperdrive, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Not a lie, Mike. I started thinking about this. I got sidetracked the other day looking at little seedling possibilities for like 20 minutes.
Really?
What do you think you would like more? What fruit tree would you like to have? A little 3-foot fruit tree on your back porch?
Yeah.
What kind?
Honestly, just anything that can survive in Vegas. For some reason, the way the air is here, it turns soil into cement.
Well, it's very dry. It's
very dry.
It's going to take that moisture out in about 2 seconds. You got to water, Mike. You got to water.
So I got to get a watering schedule, but just anything that's like I like low maintenance. I just like keeping things alive. I don't even I have green onions and I don't even eat them. I just like keeping them alive.
I'm going to try to go for the driest citrus plant for you.
All right, cool.
The one that can go through the most arid conditions.
Okay.
That's what we're going to try to do. But Mike,
cool.
As exciting as gardening is, I've got to move on to something that may be more exciting.
Okay.
Last week, we were doing some chin wagging about the perks of this fine show.
So true.
And as glorious as this show is, and as some people may see it, sometimes the glitz and glamour is not there. You know?
It's hard to see.
But once again, Mike, I was proven wrong. I got another perk that I want to tell you about.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is it?
This perk showed up in our website email account. Now, normally the email account is, it's just emails from potential guests, setting up times. Sometimes it's show analytics. We actually get a lot of spam emails from companies that claim they can, do a better job producing our show, editing, do better social media than us, and we should pay them to do this.
Yeah.
And to all those emails, I do say they are correct. But, and this is a big but, I don't care. Mike, I received an email, though, that was outside of all of those this week. And it was out of the ordinary. This was different, Mike, and my goodness, did this get me excited. I don't want to get you too excited, but we have been invited to become a part of the Illuminati.
Yes!
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah.
That's email invite only.
Yeah.
So it's good that we got that.
Yes, exactly. Exactly, Mike. I'm going to guess you're invited too. I didn't ask,
okay.
But they sent it to the show email. So, even if they didn't explicitly invite you, I feel like I get a +1, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That's got to happen. But Mike, initially I thought well, this is a little strange because I've heard from multiple conspiracy theorists that this group is very influential They're very secretive. And key point, very difficult to get into.
That's right.
But apparently, because of our clout on this show, they just decided to send us an invitation, Mike.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah. And naturally, they sent it in the most Illuminati way, which, of course, is a friendly invitational email. And I thank them for that. That's very nice. Mike, I want to read you a little bit of this email, okay?
What was the email address, by the way? Illuminati@gmail.com or something?
We'll get there, Mike.
Okay.
We'll get there.
Sorry.
Mike, let me read you the. It wasn't marked confidential, so I assume it's okay to read.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll start at the top. So let me here. I'll read from the top. Do you strive to expand your knowledge to achieve personal growth?
Yes.
Do you want to be rich?
Yes.
Be power and famous? Mike, I'm assuming they meant to write powerful and famous.
Yeah, it's a little typo.
I'm not going to hold the typo against them. You know,
no.
When you're a powerful, ancient, hidden society, you don't always have time for proofreads. I understand this. It's understandable. But I'll reiterate so we don't lose our pace there. Do you strive to expand your knowledge to achieve personal growth? Do you want to be rich, be powerful, and famous?
Yes.
If yes, then you can achieve your dreams by being a member of the Illuminati Empire.
Say what?
That sounds pretty amazing, am I right, Mike?
Yes. Is that just the subject?
No. That was the introduction thesis, Mike.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. It then says, once you're a member, all your dreams and heart desires can be fully accomplished. With this brief summary, if you are interested in becoming a member of the Great Illuminati, then get back to us. I'm going to be honest, Mike, in that brief summary, they didn't really give me a day-to-day detail of what's going on in the club, like the particular benefits, access.
Yeah.
But I guess we get itineraries when we show up, I guess they give us that when we get there. So now, you're probably saying, wow, right, Mike? You're in.
For sure.
And I am too. I can't wait to join. And don't worry. They made it really simple for us to join. They gave me an email to email them back with our interest.
Okay.
Surprisingly, it's not the email they emailed us with. There are some red flags. We're not going to address that. They gave us this email, Mike, and I'm going to email them back at infoilluminati@gmail.com. There you go. There you go.
Great email.
Which I thought, Mike, I was like, I would expect them to have their own email address and not a Gmail account, but I get it. They're being thrifty, and I respect it. I respect it.
Great spam filters, by the way.
Amen. Amen. Now, you may be asking yourself from earlier, Ben, you say this is from the Illuminati. How do you know it's from the Illuminati? Well, let me tell you how I know it's from the Illuminati, Mike. At the end of the email, they signed the email, the Illuminati. Period. The Illuminati, the whole Illuminati, Mike. They're a cohesive bunch. Not just like Frank from HR with the Illuminati. No. Everyone. I'm pretty excited about it, Mike.
Yeah, me too.
Now I'm not going to join automatically, though. I think this comes down to either I join the Illuminati or I start dining at Wisconsin supper clubs. Like, I know the supper clubs, Mike, you don't actually have to be a member to.
Nope.
But they're just so great. I feel like if I'm a member of the Illuminati and I'm eating at Wisconsin supper clubs, that's just cheating life right there.
Yeah.
That's just having it all, So I feel like I got to have one great thing this summer. It's either going to be Wisconsin supper clubs or the Illuminati. About equal,
Yeah.
So, Mike, while we're mulling over our choices, you want to fire the show up?
Let's fire up this show, Doc G.
All 3 engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and lift off.
Woo! Gosh, the Illuminati, Mike. That is exciting news, you know?
Yes!
Can't believe it. Just an email to us. That's so nice. So nice.
What's Illuminati.com?
Although I will say, you know, they've lost their luster a little bit. If they would have sent us this back in like 2017, woo! Illuminati was on fire back then, you know? That's probably why we got the email, honestly. They're down a little bit.
Somebody does have Illuminati.com. It's a board game.
Of course they do. Regardless, Mike, we have a fantastic show. We have the terrific group, Certainly So. My goodness, Mike, these fellas, so nice. We've got 2 guys from Mississippi in this band, 2 guys from Alabama. They got together, they're making tunes, and it's just a good time. Right now, they're in Colorado. We're going to be talking to them in Colorado. But this weekend, for the 4th of July, they will be in Florida. That's right,
Nice.
listeners. Yeah, they will be right down here jamming. They'll be in the crazy Panhandle. That's where they'll be. Santa Rosa first and then Panama Beach. But first, Mike, we
Nice.
need to start where we start.
Birthday suits.
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
That is correct, Mike. This first one, it's a real easy one. I'm not even concerned. Here we go. Born on July 3rd, 1962 in Syracuse, New York. He's been in movies like The Outsiders, Risky Business, Top Gun, The Color of Money, Cocktail, Rain Man, Days of Thunder, A Few Good Men, Mission Impossible, all like 750 of them, Jerry Maguire, Last Samurai, Collateral, Valkyrie, Maverick, and many, many more. Last week, he was at Taylor Swift's concert skipping out on his daughter's high school graduation because she's not a Scientologist. Name that birthday suit wearer.
Tom Cruise.
Woo! TC, man. TC, Mike, give it up. Turning 62, Mike.
62.
62.
No
Guys, yeah. I actually, fun fact, this past weekend, I went back. I'm a little ashamed to say this, Mike. I had never seen the movie Outsiders. The Outsiders.
Oh.
And I watched that. Have you ever
it's a
seen
great
The
movie.
Outsiders? Yeah, you seen it?
Watched it in school, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, because of the connection of the book, the Outsiders book, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
They were like, there's some literature content here. This is educational.
Yeah.
It's pretty goofy though, honestly. You know, and I feel like it's I mean, you look at that movie, my God, the star power, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rob
Lots of stars.
Lowe, Tom Cruise, Emilio Estevez, Diane Lane. I forget his name. Now I can't think of his name. There's like 5 other dudes.
Yeah.
Patrick Swayze's in there.
Patrick
I forgot.
Swayze. Yeah.
The Sways, he's got a small part, but just everybody. My God, it's just a tip-off point. But yeah, Tom Cruise, so many good movies.
Yeah, he's got a lot.
Happy birthday to Tom Cruise. You know what, Tom?
Happy birthday, Tom.
Try to reconcile it with the daughter. Just saying.
Yeah.
You know?
Come on.
Give up the Scientology. What? Anywho.
Join the Illuminati like us.
Yeah.
Come on. Get in a real club.
It's a healthy club. We're going to join it. They'll send you an email on the Gmail account. Be nice.
Come on.
Mike, you ready to rip some headlines?
Let's rip some headlines, Dog.
It's now time for Rip from the Headlines.
Mike, quick story I saw in the New York Post. A Long Island man sued BMW because he got his hand stuck in the door when closing
come on, dude.
and the soft closed door system chopped his thumb off back in 2016.
Oh, man.
He just won the lawsuit, and he was awarded $1.9 million.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah. Now,
Seems like not a lot. I don't know. What do you think? 1.9?
it's not bad.
Yeah, 1.9 is pretty good.
But Mike, the thing that got my attention, go ahead and I sent you this picture. Go ahead and look at this real quick. The thing that caught my attention was they have a picture of the man who lost his thumb and his lawyer after the case, and they're standing beside each other in the courthouse, and the lawyer is giving a big thumbs up. And I was like, dude, stop gloating in front of your client. He may have won $2 million, but he's still missing a thumb, and you're over there like, hey, way to go, buddy. Look at this thumper that I still got working. Come on. It's just unnecessary, Mike. Unnecessary.
Missed opportunity for the other guy, though. Come on. You should have at least done some kind of nub.
It's been sad.
Just said, yeah, just something.
Mike, is that a nightmare of yours to close a thumb or a finger in a car door? That seems horrible.
I mean, it's one of those classic questions, you know, would you want $1 million or no thumb? I guess it kind of depends on what the lawsuit potential is.
I gotta say right now, I think I'd take.
You need the thumb.
I think I'd take the thumb. I don't think I'd take the $2 million. You got to give me something higher. I don't know.
You know, they got some pretty nice prosthetics now. You know, you could get like a Terminator.
He really did not have one. If you want, if you want to look at that story, if you go back to the actual story, he was wearing literally like from like a little like comedian's bag of gags, like this like fake thumb that you put on the. That's what he was wearing. So yeah, no, but like
he'll be able to upgrade now.
I do sort of he could spend $2 million on one if he wanted, but
yeah.
I do sometimes wonder, like one of my friends actually just recently, she closed her thumb in her car door, and I was like, how'd you do that? Like I was like, how did you get it like stuck under there before you closed it? Like, you just got to have your hand in such a weird place to do that, you know?
Yeah.
Bizarre.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Anyways, Mike, this is a little New York news. The police are searching for a man who was acting as a vigilante in the subways. Apparently, the man was trying to pose as a police officer with a police badge around his neck, and he was trying to stop people from using the subway who hadn't paid. He even sprayed pepper spray at the back of one guy who was trying to get away from paying. I gotta say, Mike, this has to be Marvel's worst superhero I've ever heard. Does he fight crime? Only really specific crime. Does he have a superpower? No. But he does spray people poorly with pepper spray? That's about it. Like, it's just... Nobody. We call him the tube cleaner. Mike, has there ever been a time you've contemplated becoming a vigilante?
No. I'm trying to think of petty stuff that annoys me, but
Mike, I'll tell you right now. Go out to the old grocery store. People not putting their carts back. I will one up for that right now.
Yeah.
Not really, but if I were a vigilante, I would. If I was out there in my cape and whatnot, and I saw somebody do that, you'd think of how freaked out you'd be if somebody just walked up to you. Just, hey, put that back! What the? Guy's wearing
No way. All right, pepper spray.
Just sad. Mike, I've got a little bit of an older headline from Metro here. Quote, a 117-year-old Spanish woman could hold the secret to long life. I can tell you, Mike, she may not hold the secret for us, but she definitely holds it for herself. There's no question of that.
No question.
She's 117. She's got it. Yeah. Now, if she gives it to us, maybe not, right? Mike, when you turn 117, do you want all 117 candles on your birthday cake?
No way, bro. Just I want a 1, a 1, and a
7.
7. I don't want more candles.
That's right. It's
It's harder to blow out, more spit.
People are just
more chance of candle wax getting on my cake.
People are just waiting for you to throw your dentures out so they can laugh at you. Yeah. Good move.
Gross.
3 candles, way better than 117.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mike, I've got a couple headlines here about Kevin Costner. You seen his new movie?
No.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a Kevin Costner movie in like 20 years.
There we go. Well, he's got a new movie. His new Western, Horizon, an American Saga. This first headline is from Telegraph. Quote, "Ignore the critics. Kevin Costner's 3-hour Western is a must-watch." By critics, do they mean anyone that's not a white dude over the age of 55? Hey, do you like Yellowstone? Are you still confused why you can't call someone Oriental? Well, we have a movie for you. I feel like that should be the ad, Mike. It's my
Pretty much.
2 cents. Here's the other one. Variety. This is from Variety. Kevin Costner says he makes movies for men. That's what I do.
Word.
Yeah, I don't think you needed to inform us of that, Kev. Nobody thought large brigades of teenage girls were lining up to see your movie. All right, guys, we're going to have a double feature tonight. First, Bottoms, and then Horizon, an American Saga. Right? No, that's not happening. Come on. Now, Mike, was the last Kevin Costner movie you saw Waterworld? I think
it was Mr. Brooks. Maybe it was less. So it was maybe it was 13 years ago.
Okay, pretty impressive.
Mr. Brooks, you know about that movie?
I know about that movie.
Yeah.
I didn't see it, but
Dane Cook was in it. That's why I watched it.
Okay, that makes sense. That's sort of like a shack attractant for you.
Yeah, for sure. I was watching all the Dane Cook movies back then.
That's in there, man. I know Waterworld was one of your faves, though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I was there.
Waterworld was good.
It freaks me out with his webbed feet. I don't like that.
Yeah, thought that was pretty cool.
I mean, it's cool.
Webbed feet.
It's cool, but gross.
Can you buy that?
you
Surgical procedure?
You can get flippers. I don't know if you can buy them. Mike,
Illuminati kicks you out. Webbed feet, get out of here.
I was about to say, Mike, we can get them because of the Illuminati.
Oh, okay.
We go to the beach. People are like, "What is that?" And we're like, "Oh, nothing." Maybe you'll find out about it in about 20 years.
Why are you wearing a robe?
No reason. Mike, a couple of weeks ago, Pepsi launched a cola cologne. Did you see this?
No.
It's inspired by the aromas you get around a barbecue.
Wait, what?
That's what you want to smell like, right, Mike? Just a giant
Coal.
smoke pit? Yeah. Oh, dusty.
Yeah.
But, come on. Pepsi, if you're wondering why Dr. Pepper is now second most popular soft drink in the world and you guys are third, it's like this. Hey,
stay in your lane, bro.
Hey, you think we should try to make our product better? No, we should make a cologne. That's what we should do. Get out of here. Get out of here. Dr. Pepper is dancing all over you with their 23 flavors.
That's awesome.
You know what? I looked up, Mike. One of those flavors, carrot. They think it's carrot. They've never released their actual flavors, but there's a lot of guesses, and one of them's carrot. And I got.
What do you mean? They never released the flavor. So they have a flavor carrot, but they never released it?
No, there's 23 flavors in Dr. Pepper,
okay.
and Dr. Pepper has never said what those 23 flavors are. And so there's people that have guesstimated what they are. And one of those guesstimations is carrot. And I got to say, I don't taste carrot in there, Mike.
Yeah, no.
I don't taste carrot. I don't taste carrot at all.
It tastes root beer, a little bit of root beer.
A lot of people taste prune.
Prune.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. But Mike, I got this next story here. This was all over the news. You might have seen this one. A couple of weeks ago, a family that lived, the story occurred a couple of weeks ago. A family that lives outside of Sacramento lost their pet donkey. Their pet donkey, Diesel. They lost him in 2019. And they looked for him for a long time, but they never found him. Fast forward till about just a couple of months ago, and a guy is out hunting in Northern California when he comes across a herd of elk. And in the middle of about 10 elk is a donkey.
Wait, what?
It's Diesel. And he's just hanging out with a bunch of elk. Yeah. And the family caught wind of this video. They watched it, and they were like, that's Diesel. There he is. And the father said, finally, we know he's good. He's living his best life. He's happy. He's healthy. And it was just a relief. First, I thought the whole time I was reading, I was like, this hunter is totally going to shoot that donkey. It's going to be so sad when he's like, oh, that was yours? I'm sorry. I killed him. Second, Mike, and more important, I would like to have the confidence of a donkey.
Yes!
There is a reason why they chose Eddie Murphy to play a donkey in Shrek. You got to have some big balls to be a donkey.
Yeah.
I could never do what that donkey did. Just walk up to a completely different species of animal and be like, hey, guys, I'm part of your group now. Yeah, I'm one of you. And all the elk bought it. They were just like, yeah, I guess he is.
Grass.
I guess he's here. Like, I mean, just imagine walking up to a group of strangers and being like, what's up, guys? What movie are we seeing tonight? 9 times out of 10, if I did that, I'd get tased in the nads. And this donkey just assimilates right in there. It's amazing. It's amazing. Have you ever seen a group that was that cool, Mike? You saw a group of people, you were like, man, I wish I was a part of that clique. And you just wanted to go up and just assimilate into their group?
You know, one time, Doc G, there was a time in my life where I was in the same club as like a few Orlando Magic players. I've told the story a few times. And yeah, I wish I could have just jumped in there and been like, what's up, guys?
See?
We're going to run some games tomorrow. What's going on?
See?
Let's practice.
If you would have had donkey power, you would have. And they would have been like, is Mike Charette on our team now? I guess he is. All right.
I got this Magic jersey with my name on it.
Yeah. All right. He's got the jersey. It's got to be true. We don't question it. We don't question.
It's kind of short, but...
No, dude, no.
5'11".
Yeah, you're there.
Okay.
Mike, I don't know if you saw this news, but Hulk Hogan's son, he's been caught up with DUI charges for a long time.
He's had a hard time.
Yeah. Justin Timberlake can relate. Last week, he got sentenced. Nick Hogan, he received his sentencing for his DUI charge. And it seemed like he got off with a pretty light sentence. But you know me, Mike. Sometimes I'm reading a story and I just get distracted by something that is very tangential to the actual story, but I just can't stop thinking about it. That's what happened here. I was reading the story, and I just couldn't get it out of my mind that I kept looking at Nick Hogan, and I gotta say, they kept using a picture of him that makes him look like Derek Jeter. Take a look at the picture I sent it to you. He looks like Derek Jeter.
He does look like Derek Jeter.
Yeah, right? Right?
Wow.
Come on. I mean, if nothing else, he could at least be like his stunt double in a movie. That
easily.
I mean, I was like, you know,
a little lighter on the complexion, but yeah, same everything.
You know, I was like, hey, Nick, you're at a down moment in your life, but at least take solace that you look a little like Derek Jeter. That's nice.
Yeah.
You know, it's good. Yeah. Anyways, I just thought, I don't really have anything else on that one. I just wanted to point out to people he sort of looks
Nick
like
Hogan.
Derek Jeter. Yeah,
exactly. He does.
So true.
Nuts. Anyways, Mike, we are going to take a break. We are going to be right back here on the Doc G Show. But first, we're going to hear from Certainly So right here on the Doc G Show. And we are back here on the Doc G Show. Spinnaker Radio, WSKR LP 95.5 FM in Jacksonville, Florida. Mike, what are listeners? What would you suggest they do?
Well, Doc G, my suggestion would be that if they feel like the show is a great way to waste their time, then they should please subscribe. Please subscribe to the show wherever they listen to their podcast, wherever they consume podcasts. We are on Apple. We are on Spotify. We are killing it on YouTube, SoundCloud, wherever they get their podcasts, because it is a cost-effective way to support the show. And if the listeners are feeling extra generous, they should definitely leave us a 5-star review.
Yes. And while you're giving that 5-star review, if you're, torn and you're like, well, it's a pretty good show, I might just give them a 4-star. Let me tell you something. Remember, listeners, who gave you the email for the Illuminati? All right? Just remember that. When you email them and say, hey, we're interested in becoming part of your great group, that was us that gave you that access.
That was us.
Now, if they steal all your money because you gave them your bank accounts and your Social Security card, that's on you. That's not us.
That's on you. We didn't do that.
We did not tell you to do that. We're going to do that ourselves.
We'll do that.
But we didn't tell you to do it, okay?
Yeah.
Mike, we need to thank the regulars, so let me start with the old 5 stars here.
Cool.
Shoutouts.
Shout out to Jacksonville, Florida, Columbia, South Carolina, Radford, Virginia, Gainesville, Florida, Frankfurt, Germany, Anoka, Minnesota, Ashburn, Virginia, Pircai, Brazil, San Diego, California, Dublin, Ireland, Baltimore, Oregon, Genoa, Italy, Rich, Texas, Barcelona, Spain, Winfield, West Virginia, Biloxi, Mississippi, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Peoria, Illinois, Katy, Texas, Toms River, New Jersey, Olive Branch, Mississippi, Asheville, North Carolina, Los Angeles, California, Spartanburg, South Carolina, Athens, Georgia, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Chicago, Illinois, Boynton, Virginia, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and Columbus, Ohio. Okay. Pretty good. I had a couple of stumbles there. And But shout out, of course, to all the regulars. We appreciate you dearly. Dearly. We couldn't do it without you,
Nope.
Couldn't do it without you. 4-star listeners, Mike, the newbies, the people that keep coming back. I'm a little excited. Tokyo, Japan. My gosh, the listens they were getting this week, Mike. They were getting it this week, and I hope they keep getting it. I have an affinity for Tokyo.
Yeah, me too.
It looks amazing.
It really does.
Now, it would take me 3 weeks to get there. Yes! I actually didn't know this. I heard somebody talking about this, about Ronald Reagan being old when he was in the presidency. And so not to look fatigued when he made a trip to Japan, they literally made it like a 3-week trip there. He went to California first, then he went to Hawaii, then he went to Guam, then he went to Japan. So he just slowly acclimated to the time zones, and I was like, that's how you do it right there.
Yeah, it's a good way to do it.
I don't have the money to do that, but still, that's what, Mike, when we do our live show in Tokyo, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. Also, Mike, not just Tokyo, Kawasaki, Japan as well. Yeah, they were listening as well. Shout out to both Japanese sites.
Shout out.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next one, Mike, I think you've been doing some publicity for us. Las Vegas, Nevada. The listens were high. The listens were out of this world for the old log.
What's up, Vegas?
Yeah, shout out to you guys. Shout out to you. New York City. All boroughs, Mike. There wasn't a specific on that one. Shout out to New York City.
Thank you, New York. Appreciate you.
Royal
Love
Oak,
you.
Michigan. It gives us the specific on that one, Mike, but that's really Detroit. Royal Oak is like right down in there, right in the heart of Detroit.
I have roots in Detroit.
Nice.
I mean, in Michigan.
Oh, yeah? What part of Michigan?
I think it's Lansing, Michigan.
Oh, okay, so you're on the other side.
I don't know
there.
what part that. Okay.
Yeah, you're on the west side. Well, not really west side, but it's more west than Detroit. Detroit's over on the thumb side.
Oh wait, it's Ludington.
Ludington.
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know where that is. So I got
Yeah,
nothing.
I don't even know if that's. It might have been. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
No, it's a place,
Michigan.
Mike.
Michigan.
It's a place, and we're gonna get them to listen to our show.
Yeah.
Ludington, you better listen.
Ludington.
If you are actually a place, you better listen.
I'm looking it up.
Mike, shout out to Ashland City, Tennessee.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it is a place, Mike.
It is a place. Yeah, and it's on the other side of it's not even.
It's on the west side
Detroit at all. Yeah, it's on the total northwest part of
Oh,
Michigan.
wow.
It's pretty far away.
Not too, Mike. Yeah. You're closer to Wisconsin supper clubs right there.
There we
Not
go.
Bad. Not bad. Now, shout out to Ashland City, Tennessee. That's northwest of Nashville.
Cool.
Springfield, Illinois. Miami, Florida. London, Kentucky. Sao Paulo, Brazil. Lowell, Massachusetts. Home of Mickey and Dickie Wood. Shout out to you guys. Woo-hoo. Mexico City. And lastly, Auckland, New Zealand.
Cool.
Another one. Auckland, I would need at least 7 stops before I got to New Zealand. That would never happen, Mike. Oh my gosh.
New Zealand.
Ooh. Mike, thanks to everybody that listens. We appreciate it.
We do.
Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Mike, we had a real good one, by the way, on just the podcast version of on SoundCloud, or not SoundCloud, on YouTube. Just the audio. Annie was bringing in the listens. First 24 hours, over 300 listens in the first 24 hours.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So thanks to you, Annie, for making people want to listen to our show. That's always nice.
Thank you, Annie.
Mike, miscellaneous file real quick. Here's the thought. This was just, I was deep in thought with my brother the other day. We were talking about this. Prunes are dried plums, right? Mm-hmm. And there's prune juice. Obviously, they're not all the way dried.
Yeah.
You know? But more importantly, raisins are dried grapes. Mm-hmm. Where's my raisin juice?
Ooh.
I want a big glass of raisin juice. You got to imagine that'd be some thick, delicious stuff, you know?
Ugh.
Oh, I want it, Mike. I want some raisin juice. I mean,
they can make almond milk. I don't know.
I think it's an untapped market. I'm going for it.
Raisin juice.
I'm going for it.
Maybe that's the secret ingredient of.
Oh my God,
Dr.
Mike!
Pepper,
I am asking the Illuminati president when we get there. Hey, you know this. You've got to know this, right?
I know all.
Let's get this out in the open right now. 23 flavors of Dr. Pepper. Go. Is it raisin juice number 1? Anyways, Mike, we are going to take a break. We are going to be right back with the fantastic group, Certainly So, right here on the Doc G Show.
The Doc G Show. Because sometimes you need something playing in the background. Every Wednesday at 7 p.m. on 99.5 FM, Spinnaker.
This is 95.5 Spinnaker Radio. WSKR LPFM, UNF Jacksonville.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. We are super happy to be welcoming a fantastic band, Certainly So, who will be in Grayton Beach July 5th and Panama City July 6th. We have none other than Tanner, Colby, Chase, and Zach. Fellas, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good. Good. You guys just played some shows in Colorado. You guys are still up there, still in the mountains, huh?
Yeah, we got one more Colorado show left. We did Aspen, Boulder, Telluride last night, and then Buena Vista today.
Wow. Any altitude sickness?
Yes. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I've been feeling it personally.
Ugh. That's rough, isn't it?
Yeah. A little hard to breathe.
Yeah, it's hard to breathe on stage. You know, you're trying to sing and you can't get enough breath to sing your song.
That is it's a big joke. What do you know the highest altitude you've been as far as the shows?
In terms of the shows, it was probably Aspen.
Okay.
I'd say Aspen that
11,000?
Is it?
I think
Okay,
it
I thought it
is,
was like
yeah.
9. Yeah, that's crazy.
Whew. Yeah, anything over a mile, you definitely start noticing it pretty fast.
Yeah.
That is well, I mean, at least the shows went well though.
Yes, they were fun.
Yeah,
Nice.
we've been opening for Brett Dennen.
Yeah.
Started in Bend, Oregon, and played some shows in Montana. It's been a fun run. We're looking forward to coming down to Florida though, for
Yeah.
sure.
But now Brett, he seems like an enjoyable character.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we love Brett. Man, this is our 3rd tour with him, and he's always great. Fun to be around, and good show, good audience. You know.
Now I'm betting the closer is Ain't No Reason on his show. Am I right?
He's been closing with a different one on this tour.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. I don't want to give away his secrets, but yeah, he's been closing with one of his OG songs.
But I bet you Ain't No Reason still. That's a crowd pleaser. It's got to be.
Oh yeah. He's playing that one every night.
Yeah.
Really good.
It's one of those things. It's like, you know, if Led Zeppelin didn't play Stairway to Heaven, you what?
Yeah.
What is wrong with this show? Why didn't Ain't No Reason come on? Well, now, I was just perusing your guys' post on Instagram, and I saw the pictures from Colorado. Let me speculate. Did your van break down and you had to get new transportation and someone hooked you up with a truck with a breathalyzer? Is that in the ballpark?
Yeah, that is true.
Yes.
Okay. So what happened to the van?
So this is actually the second time that's happened to us this year. It happened in April out in San Diego, but my grandfather's a mechanic, so I took our van in before April tour to kind of get it looked at, make sure everything's okay. And he's like, well, there's some rusty parts on the front. Let's do some work. Took it to his guy, who he's worked with forever, so we trust this guy, right?
Yeah.
Well, he puts on some new front end stuff, 2 new ball joints on the front.
Mm-hmm.
And we drive all the way out to San Diego, and I noticed the steering wheel is crooked. And anyway, yeah, broken ball joint. Same thing happens on the way from Topeka to Denver, in the middle of nowhere, Kansas. So yes, we
have busted both of our front left and right ball joints and tie rods and whatever. And yeah, we had to borrow the truck from our friend in Denver while our van was getting repaired, and so we went and did the first half of the tour in a pickup truck with a breathalyzer.
Okay, I'm guessing he informed you. Hey, there's a little option that most trucks don't have here.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you passed the test to actually be able to use the truck. You weren't Justin Timberlake. That's good. Good for you guys.
Yeah, we don't drink and drive. So
there we go. We do not promote it on Certainly So shows. That is good.
No.
Well, if we take the listeners back, the band really started with Tanner and Colby. You guys grew up together, met in 2nd grade, from what I hear. Now, yep. Tanner, when you guys met, were you already playing instruments?
No, I don't believe so. I think that at that point, neither of us had started playing guitar. Maybe we started like a year or 2 later, but at that point, I don't think either of us had any kind of musical experience.
Were you already into music?
Yeah, we were definitely both into music. Our families bestowed their music onto us at a young age, And so we were listening to it and like getting into it, but not playing it yet.
Okay. What was the big, the inspiration that drew you guys together? What would you say, especially back then? What was the music that you're both like, yeah, that's it?
Back then, I remember we used to watch VH1 top 20 countdown.
Yes.
And like, there's a lot of like Hoobastank and what were some of those other music videos? Crossfade.
Yeah.
But I remember the one that we really loved was Sugar We're Going Down by Fall Out Boy. And video with the guy with the deer antlers and everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, I remember sitting at that house that his second grade birthday party was at, and we would watch that music video, and that was always our favorite. And then Dance Dance came not too long after that one.
Yeah, we're talking 2003-ish, 4-ish.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
Yeah, that's some good pop punk right there.
Yeah.
But now, Chase and Zach, you guys both grew up in Jackson, Mississippi, correct?
That's right.
Nice. Now, did you guys know each other, or did you meet in college?
So we went to the same high school, but Zach's a grade younger than me, and it was a pretty big high school. So we weren't super close until we got to college. And me, Tanner, and Zach went to Mississippi State. And us three, we had multiple bands through college, and we played a lot together.
Well, now I heard, Zach, you did not start playing drums until college. Is that correct?
I had never played in a band until college. I had played drums at my house by myself.
Oh, okay.
As a kid, I would always flip-flop guitar and drums. I'd sell my drums and get a guitar, then I'd sell my guitar and get drums. I never had both, but anyways, I ended up we wanted to start a band, and we didn't have a drummer, and I knew how to play, so that was it.
The way I heard it in another interview, and it was just sort of passing, like it was like, Zach had never played drums, and I was like, dude just got in there and was just like, hey, I'm pretty good at this. All right, not too bad. Yeah, normally, I was more of the scenario where I tried guitar, and that just took way too much practicing. I bought a guitar in 7th grade, got it for my birthday, and was like, what? You have to practice and know these chords and things? And then, I got drums, and I was like, I can automatically make a noise on these.
Exactly.
This is nice. Chase, had you always played bass? Was that where you were?
I started in high school. I played like guitar and bass. And I would say it all just continued to be more important to me as I got into college. And then obviously once we started doing the bands, it became even more important. But yeah. So I probably I got that Fender jazz bass that I always play. I got that in high school.
Nice. The standard. You got to get the Fender. What was the goal when you guys went to Mississippi State? Because I don't feel like a lot of people are going to Starkville to become rock stars. Was it always in the back of your head, like, we do want to play music, that's what we're actually doing, but our parents, we got to get them off our back by doing something else in college?
No, I don't think so. I didn't have a lot of pressure from my family to do like a proper education and job. I really wanted to, and at the time, like, me and Colby started writing songs in middle school and high school, and started playing shows in high school. But it was just fun. It was just like something to do because we liked to do it. It was never a career building thing. Yeah. But when I got into college, that's when I really started performing and started seeing like the financial benefits of playing music, because like I was a broke college kid, but I could go play a gig and make a couple $100, and that would last me a while. Yeah. But no, when we went to college, I was just I studied engineering. Chase, you were marketing, and Zach studied accounting, and we were just going there just to to get our education, our proper Mississippi,
get our
education.
9 to 5s.
Yeah, exactly.
I was about to say some straight line. Man, you can't get more accounting and engineer. I mean, those are all very 9-to-5 jobs right there. Yeah.
Colby was studying business in Birmingham.
Wow.
So we were all just ready to sign up for the corporate America life.
That doesn't sound fun.
No.
Well, Tanner, how'd you meet Chase and Zach at Mississippi State?
That is a good question. We met. I feel like.
So I remember I went to a party at this guy. His name was Dalton. Healy, and
Dalton Healy, yeah.
And they were jamming in the living room or something like that, and I got on the bass.
I remember. It was through Chase Floyd and Dalton Healy.
Yeah. I remember Dalton was like, "Oh, you should join our band," and I was like, "Great." And I showed up, and it was Chase Floyd and Tanner. And
so I was playing with a guy named Chase Floyd who just was like a local musician, and he asked me to play guitar with him. And so he would sing and play acoustic guitar, and I would play electric guitar. And then he brought me to his friend Dalton Healy, who played drums. And that's Dalton Healy is the guy who brought Chase in to play bass. So it was kind of, it was a guy named Chase Floyd and Dalton Healy, and they brought us together to form a band called Chase Chicken Coop.
And then I'm guessing Dalton split, and that's where Zach comes in.
Well, so the thing about all of our college bands is after 1 year, somebody would graduate, and we'd have to make a new band. Yeah. So. Yeah, I think Chase Floyd ended up leaving Starkville, and the next year, we just wanted to start a new band, and I think at that point we had met our friend Chris Crutcher, or was it Bryant?
Well, it was Bryant and Grant and us, and then Zach.
Yeah, so I came home from golfing one day, and we had this jam room out back. And I walked in, and everybody was playing, and I think Tanner was on drums.
Probably, yeah.
And so our friend Bryant was like, "Wait, Zach's a drummer. Like, Zach, you get on drums, Tanner, you come play guitar." And that's pretty much how I remember it. Like, that was that.
You were like, "All right, I've been assigned." Okay.
Yeah. And then
good.
We had a band called Foxyphonic. And we played a bunch of shows, and Zach being brand new to drums, he would never do anything too fancy, which is good. A lot of new drummers don't realize that you don't have to do anything fancy, but he just had naturally built-in rhythm. He just kept rhythm really, really well.
That's the job.
Yeah, and that's the job. And he did it, and we would play, and he just got better, 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 very fast.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, being around drums for as long as I've been around drums, you see those people that they love their fills, and they've got some fancy fills. There are some really cool things, but then their speed is just up and down, and they're going all over the place. Dynamics are all over the place, and you're like, that's not what we need here, guys. That's
not what it's about.
Yeah. Well, Colby, were you doing essentially the same thing in Birmingham with a bunch of other bands?
Yeah, I don't know. I would just kind of, I would work a lot, and I would play music, and I would be in bands, but I knew that the bands weren't good. But I would just go play. I'd make $50 and get some free beer down the street, twice a week. So I would do that. And then that band finally broke up, and I was still in college, so I was like, all right, well, I'll just do that. I'll just do the business stuff. But then Tanner came back to Birmingham. We started writing music, and we're like, all right, well, I guess we're going to do this now instead.
Yeah.
So it was really good timing. I was out of a band for a week and a half, and he's like, hey, I'm moving up to Birmingham. And we started writing, and it was just seamless transition. So
it was good timing. Hey, I just broke up with my bad band, so that sounds good. All right. Nice.
I think all of us had aspirations of doing music full time, throughout college and on, but I feel sometimes you just are brought up to not really see it as a viable opportunity.
Yeah.
And it kind of took a while for me personally to say, hey, I know I went to college for 4 years and I have an engineering degree, but that's not what I want to do with my life. I want to do music, and it's definitely a leap of faith when you're going for an art-based career. So
yeah, especially what was mechanical engineering?
Industrial engineering.
Industrial.
Like manufacturing processes. So after college, we were all like, Chase was working in search engine optimization. I was working for a brewery as a demand planner and production controller, and Zach was doing accounting. And Colby, you were working for like a real estate company. So we were all doing 9 to 5s when we started this band.
That sounds boring. That sounds not nearly as fun as playing music. Side note, before I moved from Mississippi State, did you guys ever go to the Ulysses S. Grant Presidential Library on campus?
The Ulysses S. Grant.
I think it's inside in the library.
Yeah, I think I did it upstairs. And it's like got a bunch of old stuff.
Yeah, I had no idea it was on campus, and all of a sudden I was like, and I found it quite. I mean, like, I think it's good, but I found it very surprising. I was like, huh. They just stuck the main Union General's library right in Mississippi. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
That is weird.
I was like, all right. I like the audacity. Nice. I like it.
I think that's where they had like the old phonographs and stuff. Do you remember that? They had like the old cylinder phonographs.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, the old Tadero like type photos, and they've got all the old stuff from. I mean, because where he did all of his the most battles that he actually was in were in Mississippi. I think that's why they actually chose Mississippi as the spot. But anywho, side note. Now, before I actually get to where you guys form, you did take a side sort of tour. Tanner, you and Zach actually played in Florida for a while after college, right?
Yeah, we lived in Florida for about 3 or 4 years.
Yes.
So when I went to college, my mom actually moved down to Santa Rosa Beach. And so every summer in between college semesters, I would go down there and play music, and Colby would typically come down with me. And that's where we really got our chops in terms of performing. Like, we had done a couple shows in high school, and I had played a few shows in college, and we had started doing the band thing. But down in Florida, we used to play at Peddler's Pavilion 2 nights a week all summer. And that's where we started building our roots in Florida. And then eventually, after I graduated, I moved to New Orleans, and then moved down to back to Santa Rosa Beach.
Yeah.
And then somehow convinced Zach and our other friend Chris to come and live down there and be in a band that I had started. And we did that band for a while, and really, it really was a great band. And we traveled all along the Gulf Coast, playing mostly covers, but we also had maybe a handful of original songs that we put out, an EP.
Well, if I'm coming to Santa Rosa, since it seems like you have, you've got good knowledge there. If I'm coming to Santa Rosa and I say, Tanner, I need a place to eat, where's the go-to spot in Santa Rosa?
The first place you got to go to if you've never been is the Red Bar, and that's right across from Chiringo where we're playing. Nice. And we have also played at the Red Bar several times, but it is I would say the most iconic staple of 38 besides Cafe 38 in Seagrove.
Okay.
Both of those are kind of date back to the late 80s, early 90s, and they just have a solid menu that is classic. It doesn't need to change. Nobody wants anything different. It's just solid every time.
I love it.
So one of those, either the Red Bar or Cafe 38.
I love it. Now, you guys, like we mentioned, full band shows, Drayton Beach on the 5th, and then down the Panhandle to Panama City on the 6th. Are there going to is this a sort of a weekend full of 4th of July shenanigans for you guys?
100%, yeah.
Nice.
We're looking to get into several shenanigans. See our friends down there that live there who are also going to be getting into several shenanigans.
I love it.
And it's just going to be more. This is more for fun and more just to promote our new single that came out. With some fans that we know are going to love and appreciate it, and we get to enjoy the fruits of 4th of July at the beach.
I love it. Well, now I'm going to get to the new single here in just a little bit, but I also have to ask: are you going? Do you have potentially on your playlist, Looking Glass Brandy, because Tanner, your acoustic version, my goodness, I love that song. You got to have it in there.
Yeah, I love that song. I had that song on repeat for probably 3 weeks or so. And yeah, I don't know if we're going to pull out a cover of that this weekend, but we will definitely be playing it on the beach. That's for sure.
That's such a 70s song. It's such a summer song. It's got to be there. And I will say it's very impressive, Tanner, how you made it somewhat your own, because that voice is so unique, like that. When you change it, you're sort of like, nah, it doesn't. But yours is changed slightly, and it still works.
Yeah, he is. He's got an incredible voice, and the song moves around, like in terms of the chord progression. It is not an easy song to play or sing, but it comes off so cool and smooth.
It's a good one, man. It is a good one. I would suggest. I mean, and that I don't want to jump in on the band dynamics, but it's such a good band song.
It is. There's great parts with the little backing vocals and everything.
It's good, man. It's good. Well, let's get to where you guys actually brought it together as a band. I'm sort of doing the numbers as far as the dates. Did you guys so you went back, you started playing together again there, Tanner and Colby. Did Chase and Zach start working on these new songs before or after the pandemic started?
Before.
Before. We started in 2019. And basically how I, from my perspective, it was, so they were in Birmingham and had written a good many songs that they felt good about. And they were like, okay, let's get some guys. And they called me and Zach, and they sent Fool's Gold and Golden State as demos. And I thought it was great. And I was all in to join the band. Me and Zach, I believe we were both living in Nashville at this time when they were living in Birmingham. And eventually they both moved to Nashville.
Basically, like a short timeline is I was living in Florida working for Graydon Beer Company, and I convinced them to let me move to Birmingham in exchange for taking on some beer rep type responsibilities. And so I moved there in March of 2019. And me and Colby, we started writing immediately, and I think we maybe even started before I officially moved to Birmingham. And then it was probably around the summertime that we had a handful of songs, and we called Chase and Zach to come into the band and build the sonic side of the band, instead and make everything sound right. So that I don't think we played our first gig until that fall of 2019.
So I mean, it's one of those, and I've heard several of these. Obviously there were way worse things going on, but it's a real bummer. You got this new band started, you're excited about it, you got all these songs, and then all of a sudden, boom, you can't play them, you can't go anywhere, you can't do anything.
Yeah,
that's how tough was that? Did you have to delay releasing the album and everything like that?
No, I don't think we would never have had an album if it wasn't for COVID, because we couldn't play. So it's either we give up now or we make an album.
Yeah.
So we did that instead. Spent a lot of money with, because we knew we still weren't going to be playing shows. The album still wasn't going to come out for a year. We didn't know what COVID was going to do.
Yeah.
But we're like, all right, well, at least we can go in and be with each other and make this music, and we'll have something by the end of it. So fortunately, we had that. That worked out for us.
Yeah, COVID actually sparked us to record an album.
Well, I mean, was it a little? It had to be a little daunting in the fact of we're doing an album and we don't have a following yet, really.
We had no following, and a lot of the songs were still you're still trying to figure out. You can play the song, that's fine, but how do you record them? we had no idea how to really record all together, especially with our new stuff. We didn't even know what we were trying to do, but luckily our producer Toby that Zach met in Nashville, he was real pro. He worked down at Abbey Road in London, and he was over here to work for another company. But then when COVID happened, he was just kind of stuck here with no work. So he was trying to do his own thing. We go in the studio together, and so to have him, to be able to trust him, to be like, hey man, we're gonna throw all this at the wall, and you just try to make a picture out of it. And he did, and he did a really good job. And so we still work with him today, and it was a really good moment for us.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it was something we all wanted to do. I think we had some recording experience in little home studios here or there, but this was Muscle Shoals and our producer who worked at Abbey Road and worked with Dave Cobb, and it just felt real, and it felt like something that would be really fun. And we were probably breaking some COVID protocols by having, we were worried, like, can we have 6 people in this studio? That's safe. We were someone coughed in the corner, and it was like,
exile them, get them out.
Yeah. In terms of the not having a following, I don't think any of us really ever even thought about that. We were just like, we got to record these songs.
Yeah, it was more just like once we met Toby and the studio came into view, it was like, well, okay, we have the songs, let's do it.
Just excited about the music.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I guess if you can't play them live, you go play them in the studio and record.
Yeah.
We only other option.
You want to get them down. It makes sense. Did you was it one of the big studios in Muscle Shoals fame, or?
No, it's a little offshoot studio called East Avalon Recorders.
Mm-hmm.
And it used to be called Widget Sound in the 70s. And they had a few country artists record there, I think. Like, who was it? George Jones?
George Jones has been in there. I think they did some of the Clarence Carter stuff in there as well. So.
Yeah, we can't afford the big famous studios. This place is more than we need, and they have a kitchen. They have like bedrooms that we can sleep in. They have a great live room, and we had built a relationship with the guys there and the engineer Colin Lott and the owner Charles, and we love going there. We would never go anywhere else in Muscle Shoals.
Well, you got the possum playing there. That's good enough. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
George Jones, that's some history right there. Well, on the first album, you guys have the song Foreign Ties. It seems to be the most popular song on Spotify, at least, looking at the numbers. Tell me a little bit how that song came together.
Well, I had written the music to it, and I had maybe like a verse and a chorus, and I brought it to Colby, and Colby helped me finish it, and it was good. But there was this weird little intro thing we had on the front of it, and I didn't really like the intro, and so I can't remember what happened, but we were talking about which songs to include on the album, and I didn't even want to include Foreign Ties on the album. And Colby is the one that talked me into it. He was like, dude, what are you talking about? We got to put that song on the album. And we just cut the intro basically. And that made it way better for me because the intro is the only thing I didn't like. And so it just came together really, really nicely. Like one of the lesser produced songs on our, or no, I wouldn't say lesser produced, but just has the fewer
less work thrown into it.
Yeah, exactly. There's more space in the song, and it came out this nice chill, kind of beachy sounding song almost a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I was about to ask because I'm always interested because that's the thing that like I know if I were in a band, I would obsess over it, and everybody else in the band would hate me for it. Is why the numbers do what they do as far as like streaming numbers and why people are listening to certain things. And I was going to ask you, as far as that song, did you feel like it was a jam? But obviously you didn't until you took out that intro. Zach, Chase, did you like it?
Yeah, I thought it was very strong, especially with the full band, and I felt like there was a good vision And there was I was all about that song, and it ended up being a single that we released. So we all, by the end, we were all like, this is solid.
I remember after recording and listening back to all the songs, that was the one song that never got old. Like you could just keep listening to it and it would just get better and better the more you listen to it.
Yeah. Is there, I also like to ask this, is there a song that you guys have released that you feel like people underappreciated? Obviously, you think they have underappreciated every song. That's what I would think as well. But, is there one that you guys were like, this is a banger? And then just relative to other, like, streaming numbers and everything else, you're like, what? Guys, come on, this one.
I feel like there's a couple.
Yeah, there's a couple. One for sure is Even If You Do. Which is a Colby ballad, and we were really proud of how that came together. Tanner played piano on it, and we released it as one of the 4 singles leading up to the album. And yeah, songs like that, or like Downtown, where it's like there's kind of this epicness to it, where it's not so straightforward pop, where it's radio friendly or whatever. So.
Yeah, I think Wonderful Time too.
Wonderful Time.
The intro is just deters people. We had this one song.
What is it with you with intros? Come on now.
Yeah, we had this one song that was originally going to be a bonus track or like a hidden track, but then we just thought it was too good to not be an actual track on the album. But it had this big long intro because it was originally going to be a hidden track. And but I think that song is so great. It never got the love it deserved either.
It's
Golden State. I feel like Golden State never got the love it deserved either. It got some love on Instagram, but not on Spotify.
Well, see, that's the crazy thing now, is that you just have so many viable options for a song to get recognition, and there's so many things that have to sort of go right in the algorithm and go right in the exposure for people to hear it, that you just don't know. Like, and then all of a sudden, like, I've had artists on the show. I've had an artist, Ann Arbor. Ann Arbor is a band that's been around for 30 years or so. And they had a song come out in, I want to say it was 2001. And it, it'd been on Spotify since Spotify had been around, and nothing, right? And then people started using it on TikTok because I forget. I think the song's called When You're 18, or it's 18 or something like that. And all of a sudden they're sitting there one day, they look at their Spotify numbers and they're like, hey, we got 15 million listens the last 2 weeks on this song. Why? This is weird. And like, so, I mean, it's so bizarre as musicians nowadays of where you get that appreciation from your songs. I guess it's got to feel good as a band to be able to rely on the stage and know that you still got that slowly building process of playing actual gigs and making that real connection with the audience.
Yeah, for sure. We would love to have one of our songs pop off on TikTok and get 15 million streams. But yeah, the route that we're going right now is definitely a stronger foundation, because I feel like the TikTok thing comes and goes fast. Yes. And if you can capitalize on it, that's great, and you can make a career out of that. But yeah, sometimes it comes and goes, and there's nothing to show from it except for, a boost in streaming.
I'm guessing you have heard at your shows from some folks that have said, like, I came because of Instagram or TikTok or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. We've made a lot of fans from Instagram and TikTok. Yeah, and now they're real fans. They come to the shows and interact with us and whatever.
It does amaze me, and it might just be because I was around before, those existed when I was a kid. But I'm just like, yeah, like that to me is like, that's some crazy dedication. You hear the song on Instagram, you're like, yeah, I'll go to their show. What? What?
Yeah.
No, I would listen to it for a little bit and then be like, yeah, I like that song. Like, I would have to do some building up, but a lot of these younger audiences, it's just like they hear it and they're like, yeah, I'll go to their show. And I'm like, nice.
Yeah.
It's
15-second clip of a song and buy a ticket to a show based off that.
Yeah, it's good for you guys for sure. Well, tell me about the new song, Miss America, that just came out. How did this one come together? Is this a batch of a new album that we're slowly releasing in single form, or is this more of a one-off here?
Yeah, we have an album coming out this fall for sure, and these are all singles from that album.
Nice. So Miss America, what's the idea? How did this one originate?
Well, originally I had written this riff, and I just liked the riff. It was just fun to play, like from a guitar standpoint. It had this cool, like cyclical chord change thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I brought it to Colby, and we both kind of started working on lyrics and melodies and stuff like that. I think we were at Chase's house, like on the back porch. And yeah, it just came together. I think this one kind of came together slowly, right? I feel like we didn't write it all at once.
Well, it was weird because it's changing keys. Whenever you're changing keys, you got to be really careful. You can screw up a song really quickly. But the way that it was set up, it was just part one and part two. But how we originally had it, I think the song was like 5 minutes long.
Yeah.
Right. So it had like it went verse, chorus, back to the verse, back to the chorus, and then we took it to the studio with Toby, and he was just like, what is this? Because it was such a stark difference. And we're like listening back. We've been playing it live for like a year at this point. So we're like, what are you talking about? He's like,
this is the song.
I don't understand what this is doing. So we basically just I think we took a verse and a chorus out and just made it like 2.5 minutes basically. And at first we were fighting it. We were like, dude, I don't know. But then it's kind of cool just to have like a little bite-sized version of what we were going for. And it kind of does make, because it keeps going back and forth in the original recording. So I can kind of see where he comes from on that.
I'm glad you didn't say it had a bad intro. I would have got worried if that were the case.
No, if that's a bad intro.
Intro is always fire on this.
Nice. Wait, now, do you guys still play the full thing in concert, or have you gone to the single version?
Yeah, we play the shorter version, but we always do, or not always, but we typically do an extended outro jam thing because it
gets builds,
party atmosphere, and we like to keep that going at the end.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a ton of differences, but just the way that builds, it reminds me, I can't remember the Zeppelin song. It's one of their older songs, or like one of their songs that they made later in their career. And it just sort of builds into this sort of like samba at the end.
Oh yeah. I think are you talking about Dear Maker?
Yes, there you go. Yeah. And you get, because it just builds throughout the whole song, and then at the end you just sort of you're left with this sort of, jam feel, like you said.
Yeah, like syncopated. It has like kind of some like Latin percussion sounds and stuff like that. I love that song. Great song.
Yeah. That was when I was listening to it. That's the sort of vibe that I got. Obviously, a lot of differences in the songs and everything, but just that part of it, as far as it feeling very jammy at the end, that's what it felt like. So this show that you guys have in Grayton Beach, this is the release party.
Yes.
Nice.
This is the official Miss America single release party with live performance.
Love it.
And a drum kit, I hear.
Yeah, and we have our friend Spencer who lives down there. He's going to be doing a bunch of drone shots.
Ooh.
Chiringo is like hosting, which is one of our favorite places to go get a drink when we're in town. We have tons of friends that work there and frequent there as well. So it is a gig, but it's more of
just
a
party.
Party. Yeah, it's a big celebration of the release of 4th of July, of everything,
I love it. Sounds like a good time, man. It sounds like a great time. Now, I'm guessing you don't have a set date yet on the album this fall.
We do, but
okay, but we're not releasing it yet.
We're not releasing it because they have a tendency to change as it
It's true.
So we have a tentative date right now, And but yeah, we're not going to release it for a little while until it gets locked in more.
Now, is it all over the board as far as sort of genre feel relative to like Miss America and the other singles you've released so far?
Yeah, I would say it's very similar to Future Self Only Dreams, our first album, to where it kind of jumps around with different genres and plays with different ideas, but still kind of maintains some kind of cohesiveness. You know, that's just kind of our thing. Is we don't really settle for one genre. We like to explore it all.
Gotta taste all the flavors. Understand. Well, fellas, we are up against a break, but I want to thank you guys for coming on the show today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
For sure. Listeners, make sure you check it out. Grayton Beach this weekend, official single release party. You can also, if you're not in the Florida area, check out all their music on all the streaming services. But of course, this weekend, you can check them out live. Right now, let's take a listen to that single, Miss America, right here on The Doc G Show. And we are back here on the Doc G Show. You just heard Certainly So. My goodness, Mike, a fantastic group. So nice. If you have time to go down there to Florida, please do. I don't know why I said go down to Florida. I'm here. If you have time to come down here to Florida, come down here to Florida and watch them play. Mike, I also realized I said several stupid things in that interview. Girl, come on. And I wanted to correct them. Okay. Number one, we were talking, me and Certainly So there, we were talking about them playing, and I asked them what was the highest altitude they played at because they were in Colorado. And they said, I guess we'd have to go with Vail. And I don't know why I said, what's Vail at? Like 11,000 feet? What? Where did I pull that out of my... And they were like, yeah, no, it's 9,000-ish. And I was like, 11,000? They're like, oh, it's that high? And I was like, yeah, it's not. They were right. Why would I think I know when they were already there? It's 9,000 feet. I'm sorry.
9,000 feet.
9,000 feet, which is still very high.
Yeah,
you know?
is.
I don't want to live at 9,000 feet. No, thank you.
No.
Number two, Mike, I have no idea. So I brought up Ann Arbor. You might remember when Ann Arbor was on the show. Real nice band from Arizona. For some reason, I just made them much older of a band than they actually are. I said, with Certainly So, I said that I think they were formed in the 90s. What? They formed in 2003. I don't know where 90s came from.
Come on, man.
Yeah. And then 18, their song that did explode because of TikTok, it didn't come out until 2013. But I will still say that it took 10 years after the song came out before it exploded. So there was, obviously there was a huge delay. But, lastly, the song
Another one.
There's another one. Now, this one wasn't a incorrect information. This was just me thinking of the wrong song. So lastly, the Led Zeppelin song that I think that Certainly So's new song sounds like is Fool in the Rain. That's the song, not Dear Maker. Fool in the Rain. So that's just, there you go, listeners. If you were offended by any of those things, I will write you a handwritten apology note. I'm sorry, and I will bake you a cobbler. Oh, Mike, I realized I didn't research cobblers for this week.
Come on.
Another mistake. I'm just, Jesus. I'm sorry. Don't worry, Mike. Next week, the whole show will be dedicated to cobblers. Mike, we need to move on, though, to the fastest growing segment in the world.
Mike C. Top 3.
That is correct, Mike. Fantastic topic, right in my wheelhouse this week because I love watching these. We decided, we cut it down. At first, you were like sports documentaries, and I was like, there's just too many of those. And I was like, how about just 30 for 30s? And I'll be honest, there's too many of those too. This might be the longest honorable mention that I've ever had, actually.
It's all you, Doc G. I only have my top 3.
You only have your top 3?
Yeah, I've only watched a couple. I'm not subbed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll do, by the way, listeners, if you don't know what 30 for 30 is, I'll let you in. 30 for 30 is ESPN documentaries. They typically last an hour. There's a couple of them that last longer, but they're on one specific sports topic that's just really interesting, and they just have a whole hour about it. So, Mike, I'll save my honorable mentions until the end.
Okay.
So my number 3, actually, sorry, I've got one that I couldn't just put in the honorable mentions. I had to put it by itself because it was so close to being in the top 3, but it just didn't make it. My 4th one is Four Falls of Buffalo. I don't know if you've seen that one.
No.
Four Falls of Buffalo is about the Buffalo Bills and the 4 times they made it to the Super Bowl, 1990, 91, 92, 93. And they didn't win any of them. They lost every single one of them. And I got to say, it's just so inspirational, man. Like, even though they like, the most inspirational part of that is, in the Super Bowl, the first Super Bowl they have, their kicker misses a field goal to lose the game. And they get back to Buffalo, and there are 30,000 Buffalo residents, and they're chanting his name in support. And you're like, that's f***ing awesome, man.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. And I'm gonna be honest with you right now, Mike. I cried when I watched that the first time because that's how emotional that was. I was like, you know what? That's awesome. And that one, like I said, it didn't reach my top 3, but it's an amazing one. My number 3, Rand University, about Randy Moss and where he grew up in West Virginia. Just awesome. Just awesome. You learn where Randy Moss is from. You learn where he got that goofy accent that's fairly close to mine. And you just, it's just awesome. You just, yeah. And you realize how many times, you know, he got in trouble several times, mainly for smoking weed. There were a couple other times with fighting in school, but all the fights weren't his fault. They were all racially motivated. And you just you feel for him on that side, and then you feel for him for never winning a championship as well. But it's a fantastic one. All right, Mike, your number 3.
My number 3 is going to be You Don't Know Bo. Bo Jackson. Yeah, that was awesome.
On my honorable mentions.
Okay.
My honorable mentions. I mean, it's just awesome because you just realize how many, one, he's a phenomenal athlete.
Yeah.
Like, you just go, holy crap, how could somebody be that good at that many things?
Yeah. I didn't know anything about Bo Jackson before watching that documentary, and I came out of it a huge Bo Jackson fan. For sure.
I mean, he's just one of those guys that, like, I'm sure if, like, don't get me wrong, if I lived in Alabama near him when he was growing up, I would have been a hater.
That's a fact.
I would have been like, that guy. He thinks he's that good. He's not that good, but he was that good.
He was.
Everything he did was just
incredible.
Insane.
Yeah.
And, like, he could just walk in and be like, I mean, talk about practice. He could just walk in and just be like, yeah, I don't need practice. I'm good.
No.
And just dominate. Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
He was the OG non-practicer.
Yeah, oh yeah. Mike, my number 2, somewhat similar. My number 2, The Best That Never Was. The Best That Never Was, about Marcus Dupree. Marcus Dupree was a guy, a high school running back from Mississippi that ended up going to Oklahoma. And this guy literally was slated to be the best running back of all time. And he probably would have been the best running back of all time. The year that he got to play at Oklahoma, he was absolutely insane. He was the reason they were as good as they were. He just would drag people to the end zone. Like, the story's just so amazing because, like, he was so great. Then he goes to Oklahoma. He thinks the coaches are being turds to him, so he leaves, and then he goes to the USFL, And when he's in the USFL, he's doing amazing things, but then he tears his ACL. And he gets out of football for like, I don't know how many years, but then he decides to make a comeback. He makes a comeback, gets into the NFL, and plays like 3 seasons in the NFL. I mean, they're not impressive seasons, but like he got back into it. And it's crazy. Like when he came back, he went from like 315 pounds to like 225 in like 6 weeks.
Wow.
He would work out in his grandma's shack, and there was a giant thermometer up there. The thermometer would say about 100 degrees, and he was wearing trash bags on top of that the whole time he's cranking out weight, which, by the way, listeners, is really dumb and really reckless, but I respect the tenacity.
What's the point there? Just to lose weight?
Yeah, you're losing an insane amount of weight.
I gotcha.
But you're also being extremely unhealthy because you're extremely dehydrated, and that is not good for you at all. Stroke volume gets down, blood pressure goes all haywire. There's all kinds of bad things. But he didn't die, and he made it to the NFL, so there you go. But anyways, super awesome one. Definitely recommend you to watch it. Number 2, what do you got?
Number 2 for me, surprising, it's not number 1, but Magic Moment. Yeah.
I was gonna try to guess it for number 1, but okay.
Yeah, number 2 for me, but wow, incredible documentary.
I think it could have been done better, honestly. Like, I
Really?
mean, like as cool as that time period was, I think it could have been done better. It could have made it like more exciting. Don't get me wrong, I liked it a lot, but like, yeah, as overwhelming as Shaq was at that time, he was it. He almost eclipsed Jordan at that time. Like as far as popularity. He did when Jordan wasn't there. I mean, when Jordan was playing baseball, it was Shaq. That was it. That was, that's who people were looking at.
Yeah.
But, I think they could have done, too, a little, like, I don't know. I wanted to see a little bit more interplay there as far as before the tensions arose with Anthony Hardaway and Shaq.
Yeah.
The good times. But it was really good, and I'm sure for a person like yourself that's very nostalgic for that team.
Yeah, it was cool. It was like an Orlando Magic documentary, really. I mean,
it was the highlight. The only highlight that you're missing is the what you call it?
Dwight Howard era.
Dwight Howard, where they made it to the
Tracy
championship.
McGrady as well. I mean, there was a little bit, I think, of that in there. Just kind of
the J.J. Redick years. I think we all know he took him to a couple of finals.
Yeah.
Actually, he was there for the finals, wasn't he?
He was.
Was he on that team? Yeah,
he was.
Anywho, Mike, my number 1. The U.
Okay.
The U. Number 1, man. It's just the best. I went there, so obviously I'm biased. But it's you realize why they became a national brand, why everybody knows that logo, and how they won 5 championships in a span of like 12 years. It's crazy. They just dominated. They literally dominated the 80s, and they were just something that never anybody had seen before. Also, the fact that they just openly recruited people from the inner cities. That a lot of these schools, if it was, we don't know, they're from a rough neighborhood and they're black. Like they would have a hard time getting recruited. And Miami was like, get on in here. You're from Miami. Awesome. We'll do it.
Yeah.
And that scared a lot of people. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of people in America hated them. And people didn't care. And they dominated.
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
Who was like the biggest star that came out of Miami?
Oh, that's hard to say. There were so many of them, man.
Yeah.
I mean, in the early years, I would say Michael Irvin.
Okay.
Michael Irvin, the playmaker. I mean, just, you don't get too much bigger than that. Big personality, big catches. Probably Michael Irvin.
And he wasn't he on the Cowboys?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I know a little football stuff.
He was in on those championships.
Yeah.
With Emmitt Smith, one guy from the University of Florida, one guy from the University of Miami. and then Troy Aikman being from, I think, Oklahoma. I don't know. Anyways, that's my number one. Mike, your number one.
No surprise here. Broke. Yeah, I love the Broke. I love the Broke.
That's the same. That's the same director that did the U, Mike.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So true.
Billy Corbin. Billy Corbin was the director, but yeah, does a real good job. That one's a good one.
It's a good
that
one.
One's a good one.
I mean, how do you blow so much money in this documentary? It tells you how.
I mean, I think it skews it a little bit, though, to be honest, because like they get so many different ways that people blew it.
Yeah.
And like I feel like there's more of a homogenous response for most people that go broke. I mean, most people that go broke from sports is they've got too big of a group around them and too many people just asking for money, and they can't afford those handouts, but they can't also they can't bear to say, no, I'm not going to give you any money.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact.
Hey, but real quick, Doc G, they should come out with an updated Broke. Too Broke. Like, they should come out with a new version.
They sometimes do, so I wouldn't be surprised.
But it's hard, though, because they get so much money now.
It is a little bit harder. I mean, when you're literally making almost $70 million the best players. Like, I don't know if you saw Jason Tatum, his world
record.
His new contract. Literally, he's almost making $70 million a year, which not bad. Not bad. Mike, my honorable mentions, Winning Time. What a great one. That one's about Reggie Miller and their rivalry against the New York Knicks.
That was a good one. I do have one honorable mention if you don't mention it, but that one was a good one. I did watch that.
That's a good one.
That was a good one.
The No Crossover, The Trial of Allen Iverson. That's a really good one. Bubba Chuck. Jordan Rides the Bus, about Jordan playing baseball. That was a very good one. The Fab Five, about Michigan in the 90s with Chris Webber, Juwan Howard, King, all of those guys. Roll Tide, War Eagle, about the rivalry between Alabama and Auburn. Fantastic one. 9.79, about the world record broken by Ben Johnson, and then he was banned because of steroids. Very good one. Bad Boys, about the Detroit Pistons in the 80s. Very good one. Slaying the Badger, very underrated one. That one's about cycling and Greg LeMond. Very good one. Brian and the Boz, about Brian Bosworth. Also, very good one. The U, Part 2. Obviously, great. Chasing Tyson, about Holyfield and Tyson, their relationship. Great one.
Yeah.
Celtics and Lakers, Best of Enemies.
That was one of them, yeah. That was a good one.
That was a phenomenal 3-part one. Very good.
Yeah.
What Carter Lost, about Carter High School in Dallas. Just such a story you do not see coming. These high schoolers, they get caught up in this robbery idea. They start robbing people, and it's just crazy. You got to watch that one. It's so good. Nature Boy, about old Ric Flair. That one is one that I did not think would be that great, and then I was like, that's good. I like it. I like it. 42 and 1, about Buster Douglas and Mike Tyson. Fantastic one. Rodman, For Better or Worse. Pretty solid. I wasn't a huge fan of the Jamie Foxx narrating. It wasn't Jamie Foxx's fault. I just thought it could have been directed better. Anyways. Chuck versus Tito. Very good one. About Chuck Liddell and the beginnings of the UFC. Vic, about Michael Vick. Very good one. Be Water, about Bruce Lee. Very good one.
Yeah, Bruce Lee.
And then The Luckiest Guy in the World, about Bill Walton. Those were my honorable mentions. I know there were like 37 of them, like I said.
Oh, I gotta watch some of those, especially the Jordan one.
Out of all of those, I would recommend Four Falls of Buffalo, like I said before. I would recommend Jordan rides the bus. It's good, but I think I might be skewed just because of how much I like Jordan.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I do too. So I feel like that's a must-watch.
Oh, I did skip over. I didn't mention. I skipped a whole line, actually. Sorry. There's 2 other ones. Ghost of Ole Miss, which is a very good one about the 1963 Ole Miss football team when civil rights were trying to be integrated into Mississippi. Very good one.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bernie and Ernie. Very good one.
Okay.
All of those. But I would recommend, I don't know which ones aside. Jordan rides the
water,
bus.
the Bruce Lee one, I feel like I need to watch. I'm surprised that's a 30 for 30, but not surprised in a way. Obviously.
Be Water is a good one. I would honestly, it's weird, and you probably wouldn't think you'd get into it. But Slaying the Badger about Greg LeMond and the Tour de France, that one's good. That one's real good. Yeah, and then of course, if you haven't seen any of the top ones that I mentioned, the Rand University, The Best That Never Was, and the U, totally. But anyways, Mike, we need to move on. I've only got one birthday suit. I'm gonna spot you the last one. I'm just gonna give you that one.
Okay.
Because I didn't write a little thing for it, and I don't think there's any way you'd get it. So
all right. No worries.
Anywho. Okay, so the one that we do have, our birthday suit wearer was born July 3rd, 1956 in Baltimore, Maryland. After high school, he went to the Marine Corps, and he served in the military for 22 years, retiring in 1996. Before he retired from the military, he started a talk show that became very successful. The name was the name of the show was his name. The Blank Show. His show there. The ratings for his show peaked in 1997. Show had all kinds of wacky guests, especially a lot of wacky psychics. The shows that it was compared to, Phil Donahue's show, Ricky Lake's show, Sally Jesse Raphael, even Jerry Springer. These were all his contemporaries, Mike. Name that birthday suit wearer.
Psychics.
You had psychics, had shows like Who's the Father shows.
Come on.
He's a black dude with a bald head and has has earrings on both sides there. Little hoop earrings.
Oh, I was actually thinking of something else.
You want me to give you initials?
Yeah.
Actually, hold on a second. Do you remember the song "This Is How We Do It"?
Yeah, Montel.
Yep.
Montel Jordan?
Not Jordan. You got the first name.
I just know the first name. Montel. I don't know. I'll just take half credit.
Montel Williams.
Montel Williams.
I
totally forgot about that show.
Yeah.
So funny.
One of those talk shows, man.
Yeah, I didn't know he had a bunch. I was thinking about the other guy that did the You're Not the Father, the white guy, the old white guy.
All I've got is Phil Donahue. Phil Donahue, Jerry Springer.
Maybe it was Phil Donahue. Maybe that was it.
Well, Mike, sadly, old Montel, he actually got MS. He was diagnosed with MS. Yeah, but I mean, he's still kicking. He's still getting it done. He was diagnosed though way back in '98 was when he was diagnosed. He had it for 26 years. Crazy.
Dang.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But he still seems to be doing well. Still doing a lot of philanthropic endeavors. Happy birthday to Montel. Turning, let's see, what is he turning? 68. 68. Happy birthday to Montel. Now, the one that I'm going to spot you, Mike, would be Dave Barry. The writer Dave Barry. Have you ever heard of the name Dave Barry?
No.
Okay. Say that's what I thought. So it was probably... He's done a lot of nonfiction work. He's written for a lot of different newspapers. He's what you would call a humorist, right? He writes some some comedy and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dave Barry. I don't know if you've ever read any of his things, but if you have time to check it out, check it out.
Dave Barry.
Dave Barry.
Right.
Mike, we need to wrap it up for this week, but we have some fantastic shows coming up. Can't wait. We've got Sonny on the way, Sonny Goulage. We've got Chris Pierce. We have got just a bunch of great artists coming on. But until then, we need to wrap it up. I've been your host, Doc G. With me, as always, the one, the only, Mikey Maximus, the Verticus, Charette.
Always a pleasure, Doc G. And hey, let's not forget, we also have an awesome top 3 coming up next week. Almost forgot, but I didn't.
Good call, Mike. Good call.
What about top 3? And I know this isn't something you're totally, but you are. Top 3 sodas.
Oh, yeah.
Top 3 sodas.
I will do it. Did my Dr. Pepper spur you on that? 23 flavors?
You know, I thought about it before the show.
Okay.
It's just funny you talked about it.
We queued in. Mm-hmm. I also thought when you just remembered that we needed to get a top 3 there, Mike, I just realized, too, you know how the guy that listens to Just the Last Birthday Suit is going to be when he realizes I just gave it away? He's going to be like, what the is that, man? It's the only reason I listen to the show. Come on.
Hilarious.
Jeez. Anyways, guys, until next week, zip it up and zip it out.
Zippity-doo-dah.